I'm going to write this all out in words, and then we'll kind of try to do this in a picture to kind of make a little bit more sense. If the radius of the circle is r, and the length of the arc, okay, so let's all hope y'all remember what an arc is from geometry. An arc of the central angle, hopefully you know what a central angle is from geometry, is also r, then the measure of the angle is 1 radian. So it's like a unit, 1 unit, 1 radian. So if the radius is r, so some distance r, and then the arc of the central angle is that same distance around the curve, so it's still the same distance r, then that angle is going to be referred to as 1 radian. So that would be our unit measure. All right, so if I drew a picture, okay, we'll say that's a circle. Central angle means what? The vertex is at the center, right? Okay, it does not necessarily have to be in standard position, but it can be. All right, so not drawn to scale. Okay, not drawn to scale here. All right, but let's say that obviously from here to here is r, right? That's the radius halfway across the circle. We know that. So literally, if I took a string and I measured that, and then I laid that string around that arc right there, this is the arc of the central angle. So then if this distance matched and was also r, if that arc measure is the exact same distance as there right there, then this angle is 1 radian. So that's the unit. All right, and then what we're going to do all the way around the circle, we're going to have 90 degrees, but then we're going to also turn it into radians, and we'll have 180 degrees, but it'll also have a radian measure. 270 will also have a radian measure. Okay, now, conceptually, I just wanted you to have a formal definition of how we get 1 radian, okay? You probably will not use this at all to come up with your radian measures, all right? But you need to have an understanding or a foundation of where radian measure comes from, all right? Now, let's just kind of take, in general, and talk about some of this. All right, let's see. I'm going to draw a relatively large circle here. And I'm going to put it on our coordinate plane. Okay, so we're going to get used to seeing circles like this. Okay, it's a bad circle, but the best circle we can hand draw. All right, when we do our unit circle tomorrow, it's going to be a circle that's placed on a coordinate plane like this. Okay. Now I want to see if we can use a little bit of common sense here. All right, using the X and Y axis. If I start here and I go all the way over to here, you guys watch where I go. If I go all the way over to here, that's how many degrees? It's half a circle, so it's 180 degrees, right? We know that. You guys have degrees down pat because you've been using degrees forever. The only thing we've ever done with you up to this point is degrees. Now, if I tell you that halfway around the circle is also pi radians. Okay, so halfway around the circle is pi radians. All right, now let's go back to something we know. If I start here and I just go up to here, how many degrees is that? 90, right? 90-degree angle. So this is 90 degrees. Okay. Now, the relationship between 90 and 180, it's half of it, right? Okay, so how many radians is this? Chris, what are you thinking? 1/2 pi radians. Or we're going to use it as pi over 2, but same thing. Pi over 2 radians. It's half of it. So the relationship between your radian measures and your pi measures are all going to stay the same. Okay. 3/4 of the way around the circle is misleading, but if I start here and I go all the way around to here, we've already told me that that's how many degrees? 270. Okay, now do this in radians. Okay, count your radians if you have to. Watch me count. If I start here, this is 1/2 pi, 1 pi. What's next? 1/2. 1/2 pies, and 1/2 is the same thing as 3/2. So then this is 3 pi over 2 radians. If I start at this point and I haven't moved, it's 0 degrees and 0 radians. All right, because when I haven't moved yet, I don't have an angle. And then I come up and I do 90, and then I do 180, and then I do 270. Once I've gone all the way around, then that becomes, we know, is 360 degrees, right? Because it's all the way around the circle. Okay, so you could count every spot to get your radians, or you could just go, okay, so here's 1 pi. So then here's going to be 2 pi. So it's 2 pi radians. So those 4 you need to know. Just have memorized. Pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi. Those are your radian measures. Now, because these are like your 4 major ones, we will use those a lot. Okay. We're going to do a unit circle tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to kind of give you a little preemptive part to tomorrow. All right, so if I turn this into, if I start setting this up as a unit circle, this is kind of going to be what you're going to have tomorrow. All right, the fact that it's a unit circle, one unit. Okay, a unit circle is based on 1 unit, or in other words, a radius equal to 1. Unit means 1, okay, radius of 1, which means the distance from here, the center, to here is 1, right? So then this ordered pair would be 1, 0, right? Because that's a unit circle, so that radius is 1. So this is also 1 unit. So the ordered pair that goes along there would be 0, 1. If I start here and I go this way, that's still a radius, but I'm going to the left. So the ordered pair, -1, 0. Down here, if I put this point on, it's a radius of 1. It's a unit circle, so the ordered pair here would be 0, -1. All right, now along this circle, do we have more measurements than just 90, 180, 270? We do, right? We've got tons in here. Like I could run it halfway in between would be what? 45 degrees. Okay, and we could figure out the radians. Okay, same thing over here. Over here, be halfway in between 90 and 180. All right, so we're going to put 3 on here tomorrow in every quadrant when we build our unit circle, and we're going to only do 3 because those are our common ones. All right, we're going to figure out what 30 degrees is. We're going to figure out what 45 degrees is, and we're going to figure out what 60 degrees is. Those are the only ones that we're going to put on our unit circle. Is 30, 60, 30, 45, and 60. All right, now why? All right, let's hope you had really good geometry, teacher. Okay, so do you remember doing something in geometry that were called special right triangles? Remember special right triangles? And you had what? You had a, okay, not drawn to scale, but you had a 30-degree angle here and a 60-degree angle here, and that was called a 30-60 right triangle. Remember doing those? All right, and then you did the, again, really bad drawing here, but you had a 45 and a 45-degree angle, and that was called a 45-45 right triangle. All right. The unit circle comes from those special right triangles. So that's why you learn special right triangles in geometry. And then, now we are getting ready to do trig here in pre-calc. Now we're going to make a connection between what you did in geometry and connect that to our unit circle. Okay. All right. So that's just kind of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit there. All right. Now we are